Well, Danny, thanks for joining us. You've been at Brighton now. This is your 5th season, I think.
Yeah.
But what has changed that's made you have the form of your career in front of goal this season? Because you're on course to have your best season in front of goal for 6 or 7 years, aren't you?
Yeah, it's been really good. It's been a good start. Obviously, this season I've got the goals early, and looking to build upon that. Finish the season well as well. I think, see, last season it was kind of like a different role. I was kind of playing. You're required to do different things on the pitch, and this season I've had a few more opportunities. In front of the goal where I'm getting some more dangerous positions and. And luckily, I've been being fed by my teammates. They're playing some great balls through to me, and I've been I've been working hard and putting them away.
And you've been taking free kicks as well. And you came mightily close against Liverpool. You've
I know,
scored
yeah.
one already.
Yeah,
Where does this come from?
Yeah, well, I think I've always had it in the locker, and it's something where I can't remember. I think Duncan didn't want it against Forest. I think because he'd had a few, and then. I was like, you know what, it's my turn now. Put it away, which was nice. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to some more, hopefully.
You're in the veteran stage of your career now. Obviously, played for some massive clubs. Because you're a little bit older and a little bit wiser, do you enjoy it more? Do you think than when you first burst onto the scene?
Well, I've still got the same love and passion for the game, and obviously 33, nearly 34, and I'm still feeling really good, feeling really fit, strong. I've been fortunate enough, in my career to see I've had good role models. Like the older they get in their career, like at United, there's the likes of Giggsy, Scholesy, Rio Everett. Had great role models. Seeing how they looked after themselves, how they prepared every single day. Went to Arsenal, and then there was Per Mertesacker there, he did a hell of a lot of work to make sure he was right. And yeah, I think here I've got James Milner to look at. He's 38, so I'm like a baby to him anyway. So yeah, I'm feeling good, feeling strong.
And you've listed some of the former teammates you've had there. What about managers? Obviously, Sir Alex was a big influence. Arsene Wenger at Arsenal. How would you compare Fabian Hürzeler to those two?
Yeah, well, everybody's successful in their own way, in their own right, and look, fortunately for me, I played underneath some great managers, and I'm very privileged to have done so. And yeah, everybody's got their own style, but the new manager, Fabian's come in, and he's had his ideas there right from the start. He gets his message across so well. We do a lot of meetings, and the points that he brings forward to us and what he wants us to do on the pitch. And yeah, there's so much detail that goes into it. But he's definitely a top class coach.
You're a respectful guy, well-mannered, polite, I'm sure. But do you look across the table sometimes at him and think, I'm 3 school years older than you?
Do you know what? No, it actually never even comes into my mind or any of the lads really, because I think from day one he came in, he was so authoritative, so straight with his ideas and everything like that. So it never ever comes up. It only comes up when I sit down in front of you, and then it gets brought up. But I take it as a good thing that it never even crosses anybody's mind.
I don't want to harp on about your age, but 33.
All right, that's enough now.
Sometimes people talk about when you get into your 30s, and it's often cited as a negative. But there's 33. There's my 33. There's his 33, and there's your 33. You look at Rooney and Ronaldo at 33. There was a complete difference between the two of them because different people have different bodies and different genetics. So, are you at 33? Because I've seen your output statistics from earlier in the season. Physically, you're up in the top 2 or 3 in the club, aren't you still?
You're saying it. If you're saying it, then I am.
So what does that say about you? Are you sort of one of those who is still in their prime at this age?
I feel good. I've been working. I've put in a lot of hard work, to make sure that I'm in the best physical state possible. I'm blessed with good genes, good genetics from my parents, and it shows now I've got 2 older brothers. I think if you put them up against some of the players in the Prem, they could still beat them in the race as well. So they're older than they're 3 and 6 years older than me. So I know that I've got good genetics, good genes, and along with the hard work that I put on top of it, then yeah, I'm like a really young 33-year-old. Yeah.
As we sit here, the Premier League table looks very different to how it has in previous seasons. Obviously, Nottingham Forest have had such a good start. You're there on the on the cusp of the Champions League places. We saw Aston Villa in the top 4 last season. There was a time when a certain 5 or 6 clubs dominated the Premier League. Do you think this is as competitive as it's ever been? Do you think the gap between the likes of those established Big Six teams and teams like Brighton is getting smaller?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think in the past seasons, it's like City have been, that top, the benchmark, and they go into every game and they're just so like how they win matches every single week, every 2-3 days it's incredible. I think they're the top team. But I think every single game in the Premier League now is so difficult. Like, no matter if you're part of the big four, if you're coming up against somebody who's lower down in the table, it's going to be a very, very difficult match. It's not going to be an easy game for you to try and get them 3 points. So it just shows how close it is, and how I think for us, Brighton, going into every single game, we know that we've got the possibility of getting 3 points every single week.
And with that in mind, is it a realistic dream maybe that you could finish in the top 4 this season, qualify for the Champions League? Obviously the club had that little bit of taste of European football a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah, we had the taste for Europe, and it was amazing. It was a great campaign, and I think once you've tasted it, it's something that you want to experience again, and you want to do better. I think it's really important for us. We're in a transition period still. We've got a new manager, and we're still early on in the season, but we've done well. We've done well at the start of the season, but there's still a lot of things that we've got to improve on, and it's really positive as well when you look at it like that. But I think there was after the game against Liverpool, like people saying, "No, it was a great performance," but there's still a lot of disappointment in that dressing room, and I think that shows how far we've come, as a group over the last few years. Like, we're 1-0 up at Anfield, and there's certain things that we needed to do better to try and remain and win that game, and we didn't do it. We didn't do it well enough. So we know there's still a lot more that we can build on, and a lot more improvement for us as a team.
Someone the other week mentioned the possibility of an England recall. Now, obviously, they've got a new manager coming in. He's got an 18-month contract. They're targeting winning the World Cup. They've been pretty clear about that. You'll be 35 by the time we get to the World Cup, which, with good genetics, is fine.
Yeah.
What can you bring to the England setup, or is that chapter closed for you?
Listen, for me, I had a great time playing for England, and some special moments. But for me, my focus is solely on Brighton. Like, doing what I can do here to the best of my ability, trying to help the team, help the club, and trying to progress. The rest of the other stuff, that takes care of itself. But for me, my mind's set on Brighton, trying to get 3 points every weekend.
And is that the same reason why, obviously people have been talking in the last couple of weeks about the fact that Manchester United did have a little sort of nibble at the possibility of taking you back to Old Trafford in the summer? Is that chapter closed too, because of what you can see happening at Brighton?
No, listen, it's speculation, and for me, being a Manchester boy, I've always got that link coming through at United. I've got that link to Manchester United, and that speculation, stuff always comes up and about. But as I said, just focusing on doing what I can do for Brighton, having a lovely time down here, really enjoying it. It's a great city to live in, to bring up my kids as well. And I'm really, really settled here, and I was really happy to sign a new 2-year deal at the end of last season.
You mentioned you're a Manchester boy. What have you made of Manchester United since you left the football club? They've got yet another new manager. Do you think Ruben Amorim can get them back to where they were when you were there?
Listen, I've seen a few of his games and for Sporting, and I watched the Arsenal Sporting games closely last season, and the way that the team play, it's very progressive, and it's exciting, to have somebody like Ruben going to Manchester United, and to try and get them back to where they want to be. And it's always going to be difficult after Sir Alex left, and it's not an easy job, but somebody's got to do it, and now it's on to Ruben Amorim.
I was just thinking there, actually, quite a lot of the players that you played with at United have now gone on into to management. You've got Carrick at Middlesbrough, Rooney at Plymouth in the Championship as well, the two obvious ones.
Yeah.
Did you see those guys as managers when you shared a dressing room? And is that something you might consider at some point?
Do you know what? It's hard to even think about that right now, like, because I feel so good. Like, it's not even something that comes up into my mind, like whether I want to be going into management or coach, whatever. But yeah, a few of my old teammates are now managers. But I look at Carrick and Rooney, and you can see that they're so football minded, they're so intelligent as players that they can obviously help and do a good job, managing a team. So it doesn't surprise me too much. Obviously, Tom Cleverley's gone into it as well, like Watford as well. So yeah, I've got a lot of former teammates who are now going into management, and I'm pretty sure there'll be a lot more soon as well.
Yeah, like James Milner possibly?
Well, I don't retire Millie yet. I still want him to beat that Premier League record.
But can you see him being a manager?
I could definitely see Millie doing it, but it's whether Millie wants to do it.
Yeah.
And that's if he's got the passion to go in to do that. It's long hours these days being a manager.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much stuff that goes into it, and they're starting early, finishing late. They're constantly thinking. If Millie wants that stress, he can have it. So it's up to him.
Brighton are famed for their recruitment. What's it like being in the dressing room when someone new walks in? Do you sort of all nudge each other and say, Tony Bloom's recruited him, he's got his algorithm, he must be good?
I think we always know Tony's obviously got his way of recruiting players, and and he's had a lot of success with it. So I think once somebody comes to Brighton and they walk into the dressing room, first and foremost, you've got to make them feel comfortable, make them feel well, give them a good welcome and let them know that we're here to help them to be the best that they can be. And yeah, some are easier than others with the language, like different language barriers. But as soon as we welcome them in, we see what they've got on the training pitch. It's quite easy to see that they've got quality, and then it boils down to the mentality. Are they willing to give it everything to be the best they can be?
And I guess because the recruitment has been so good that even when you lose a successful manager, as you did in Roberto De Zerbi in the summer, the players must have the utmost confidence in Tony Bloom and Paul Barber that they're going to get the right man, as they seem to have done with Fabian Hürzeler once more.
Yeah, you've got to have trust in the club, and we've got great people who are running this club as well. So we believe in them, and it's important to have that faith that they will make the right decision for whoever has to come in next. And I'm pretty sure they'll always be thinking of what's next before anybody else is.
One of the players who's impressed me a lot this season is Carlos Baleba. I think we're really starting to see why Tony Bloom went all out for him. Is he someone you think that can kick on and play at the very top level?
Listen, Carlos has got amazing attributes, and I think from his performances this season, you can see that he's a special talent, and the quality he possesses, with the ball, how he's able to drive through, how he's able to win the ball back for the team, it's incredible, it's special. But there's also a lot that he can improve upon, and Carlos knows that. He's always willing to learn. He's a good kid. He's just got to, keep on improving, keep on wanting to work hard every single day. Like, there's no let up. Like, every single session, every single exercise, can you do that to the best of your ability? And that's where I think Carlos will then, if he gets into that sort of mindset and that mind frame, then he can be unstoppable.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.